Hello and welcome back to my Monday motivation evenings. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Annika and I'm the founder here at Mummy Made This, an organization I founded back in 2020 to help parents enjoy family life and to play more, to laugh more. And the products that we have are either of very practical nature to make family life that little bit easier, or they are things that encourage creative play. Check out our website, www.mummymadethis.co.uk, to see the full range of our products. So these Monday motivation sessions, the idea behind them is that every Monday evening, I will share with you anything that I have come across the previous week or any topics that I'm looking at in more detail. So at the minute we're looking at screen time in a little bit more detail, and today's the second session on screen time, but more about that in a little bit. So the idea is that I will share with you topics like book recommendations, it might be, or it might be things that you have dialed in for and emailed me for and left comments for, to say, oh, this is a topic that I'm really struggling with. Can you look at that more? Can you share what you've done with your family? And 1 week, I recognize every family is very different, and what might work for your family might not work for the next person's family, or what was worked for mine might not work for you. And so I encourage you to just dip in and out and pick and mix the sessions and join me every Monday to see what does resonate with you and what doesn't, and choose those that work for you. And and if 1 week doesn't work for you, I'll tune in next week and see if that topic resonates with you. I am on Facebook and Instagram as well as Mummy Made This, and also on YouTube. So any videos that you might have missed, or any Facebook Lives that you might have missed, the links to those videos will be either on my YouTube channel or in the various social posts as well. I will keep resharing previous Monday motivation sessions as well, so that if you've missed one that you like the look of, you can always go back and check it out. Okay, so today, as I said, is the second of three sessions that I'm covering on screen time. Last week was all about talking about the signs of too much screen time. So I noticed in my children that they always exhibit very specific signs when they've had too much screen time, and I shared with you what those are. And it was great to see some of your comments in terms of what resonated and what you recognized in your children as well, and certain things that you added to the list that were not on mine. So that was great. Thank you. And if you want to go check that out, as I say, on my YouTube channel or in the links below, there should be a link to previous recordings as well. Today's session, though, is the second question that we were asking ourselves around screen time, which is, okay, it's all well and good that we've established what is too much screen time and what that looks like. So what on earth do we do about it? And I wanted to share with you today what I have done in my family to fix it, I guess, to resolve too much screen time and a way forward. And what we have done is we basically got together as a family. We did a bit of a family meeting, although I'm not sure I like that word. It feels very 80s, doesn't it? And I asked the kids the question, I said, this is not working for me. I feel there's too much screen time in our family, and this is why. And I sort of shared the signs, but we didn't dwell on that too much. We sort of moved quite quickly into, well, what are we going to do about that as a family together, collectively? And I let each of the children sort of share what was important to them and why, rather than it being immediately like pointing the finger, you watch too much of this and you do too much of that or whatever. So we were trying to keep the tone very much productive in terms of, well, let's solve this solution. Let's solve this problem together and find a solution together. And it was more like a brainstorming session of any ideas go. And then we picked and chose from that what would work for everybody. So in that conversation, I was able to share with them what was important to me, which was I didn't like them that constant battle of feeling that always that screens were the go-to, and that every single step of the way it would be like, no, you can't do that, no, I don't want you to know, and that was just really exhausting for me, and that's the bit that I didn't like, and I was able to express to them that it doesn't mean I'm completely against screen time. I'm not, but there's a time and a place for it, and we must agree how much we think is the right amount and when that should be. And it was interesting, the kids, especially my oldest, the point he made was he wasn't that bothered about how much, but the bit he was bothered about was that he had some control over when that is. And once he'd had that input taken on board, I guess, into the plan, that time was not fixed in stone, but reliable to a certain extent, so that he could know that, you know, on those days, at those times, he gets to go on his screen and build more in his Minecraft world without having to have a battle with me either. Oh, excuse me. And the other thing that was important to him was that whenever that time is, works with some of his friends as well, because he likes building socially with his friends and being online at the same time together. So those were the two things that were important to him. For me and my husband, things other than the pure amount of time. So last week we talked about, you know, anything above 1 or 2 hours in our family when we do that, the kids start to show signs that they've just had too much. So for me and my husband, it was important that we stay within that time limit, and that the screen time is not too close to bedtime, because they will struggle to go to sleep when that's the case. And that I guess we can trust the kids and they trust us, that once we've agreed this, there's not that constant battle of no, you're not allowed, no, you're not allowed, no. But everybody knows when screen time is allowed, and everybody sticks to that, and that there's that respectful trust. So yeah, those were the points that were important to me and my husband, and as I said, the points that were important to the kids. For the younger ones, the bit that was interesting for them, that they weren't actually that bothered about having screen time on a daily basis. For them, the thing that was important was to be able to have a movie night, they called it, on a Friday or Saturday at the weekend, to be able to just chill out and have some like popcorn. And I think for them it was more about the snacks that go with it and the whole event as a family, to have that to chill towards the end of the week. Plus for them, the other thing that was important for them was at the weekends, early in the morning when they wake up, to be able to come down and have a bit of autonomy as well, I guess, to switch on CBeebies or whatever and just have a bit of TV time while, you know, mummy and daddy have a lie-in, which worked for us as well. So yeah, those were the parameters, as it were, or those were the main topics and the things that were important to each of our family members that came up in our family conference conversation. Yeah, so that's how we went about getting a plan together. And what I then did is I went away and put that in a weekly structure, excuse me, in terms of what that practically looked like, in terms of the time slots that were possible during the week for screen time and at the weekend, how long they were, to fit all of those criteria. And if you are interested in having a free download of the questions that we asked ourselves as a family, but also a bit of an outline in terms of you know, our weekly routine family planner for screen time, a very catchy word that, then I have created that as a free download. So that should also be in the link below. Feel free to download it and yeah, use it in your family as you see fit. That's all for me today. Next week's session is the final session about screen time, and there it is all about what on earth do you do instead of screen time? So obviously the first session was all about what are the signs that there's too much and how much is too much. Today's session was all about, okay, so what do you do about that? How do you fix it? How do you come up with a plan that's inclusive, that will allow you to move forward and yeah, not have those screen time battles all the time. And next week's session is all about, okay, all well and good that we know it's too much and we know how we want to do it instead, but there is lots of time then free, or more time certainly free. What do you do in that time, and what activities and ideas are there to do stuff with the kids? And that will be the topic next week. I hope you join me next Monday evening. I look forward to seeing you, and in the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye.